Gate 14 podcast presented by FanDuel Canada. Download FanDuel Canada today, the Jeff Hoffman pod. And we are coming at you directly after Jeff Hoffman put his balls on the table against the team that said no, no, no to him. Does it get any better, Avery? Could it happen any better? We have Jeff Hoffman on the pod. What an appearance. And you know what? We're not going to waste any more time. Let's get right to the Jeff Hoffman podcast. We'll recap the series right after the podcast. All right, we are now joined by another very special guest. He is 2024 All-Star. Is that good? You tell me. Former first-round draft selection, and most importantly, our closer. It is Jeff Hoffman. Welcome to the Gate 14 podcast, brother. Long overdue. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to finally be here.
How do you feel about Johnny berating you to come on all the time?
Well, I did not berate him.
No, I love it. I love doing this kind of stuff. It's just, when the timing, works out and all that stuff. So, no, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you're following up a pretty big guest. We just had the president on, so he hinted. I was supposed to be a surprise that you were coming on the podcast in the middle of the Mark Shapiro interview. He goes, yeah, you're going to be talking to Jeff Hoffman next week. So surprise kind of ruined. But, yeah, you're following big shoes. You're following big shoes. But let's go right into that, though, because obviously you're back here with the Toronto Blue Jays. I got to ask, was that a possibility that you thought about going into this offseason? Because, to be honest, I kind of had no idea until Bryson hit me with the Snapchat message of an eye emoji, and I had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, my viewpoint going into it all was I just wanted to be on a team that has a chance to win. And, I definitely view the Blue Jays as one of those teams that qualifies for that category. So, I didn't really know. I didn't really, look forward to it going any which way going into it. It was just, I had my group of teams that I thought were a good option, and I just let it roll.
Were you flattered when teams talked to you about being a starter potentially? Or was you like the back end role was like, hey, I like doing this. It's what I want to do going into the next season.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to kind of explore those possibilities and stuff with different teams. But obviously, I mean, my last couple of years have been unbelievable. I really feel like I've found something that I'm really good at, and that was kind of where I wanted to be in the bullpen. So it was cool to entertain it, and if the package was right, I probably would have done it. But I'm happy that I ended up where I wanted to be.
This might be a dumb question, and I'll be honest, I said this every podcast, but I do ask tons of dumb questions. How do physicals work? Like, do you have to fly to the other team's facility and they do a physical on you, then you find the results later? Like, I'd love to take a look behind the curtain on what happens with physicals. How does it happen?
Yeah, so basically you agree to terms with whatever club it is. The travel secretary or whoever gets in touch with you, and they get your flight booked, and you basically go and you meet one of their trainers, and kind of do a day of imaging and blood work, or whatever it is, whatever they want you to do. You're kind of at their mercy for all that stuff, and then if all that goes good, then everything kind of becomes official after that. If not, then you see what happened with me.
How much did you hate doctors after your off season? Were they full of shit?
I mean, my viewpoint is they some teams might put a little too much into the opinion of their medical team. Obviously you see what happened with me, and that there's no risk, and that there's nothing really there. And, a couple teams have to kind of eat their words on those.
Do you happen to have the names of the doctors so I can send them gift baskets to thank them? Because I would love to. I hate the Baltimore Orioles more than the next guy, but I love their doctors. I might get #1 fan of their doctors shirts ready for Gate 14 shop. But it is funny, though, just hearing that come out, because obviously you're unreal. And fans just try to hold this over our head like, oh, but he didn't pass his physical. So when you got the news back that you quote unquote failed the physical, were you as shocked as we were when that kind of came out?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, short answer. Yeah, I mean, me, my agent, my wife, my, anybody that knew Anybody on my inside circle that knew what was going on, we were all, kind of in shock and not really knowing what the heck was going on.
So you're a Toronto Blue Jay, you get down to spring training. How different was you when you get to the how different was it when you got to the new player development center compared to what it was before? And you're like, oh, this is a nice upgrade for me.
Oh, totally different world. I mean, from the foundation all the way up to the top, it's an unbelievable facility. We have everything we could possibly need to get ready and to prepare ourselves for the season. And I think it's a really amazing tool that they have there in place for us. And yeah, I think we're going to start to see the benefits of having a spot like that, with the minor league system and everything.
Avery just crash out. Love that. Good internet, Avery. It's always fucking me that always does this, but now it's Avery. This is unbelievable stuff. He's done. He's done. Good. This is unbelievable. I guess I'll ask my question then because my internet's good. What I wanted to ask you was, based off of the bullpen and the guys you've met so far, I talked to Swanee about you a little bit. He said he's obviously met you a couple times, but who have you kind of gelled with and got close with on the Toronto Blue Jays so far in that bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important that we gel with everybody. I try not to gravitate towards any one person or create any type of clique or anything like that. I want to be there and able to talk to anybody, and I feel like we have a pretty good group together right now for all that. We have a good conversations down there before the chaos ensues, and I think we're in a really good spot. We got a lot of guys with a lot of talent, guys that have been around and had some cool experiences, and I think the more that we have those conversations and get to know each other, it's going to be good for the whole group.
Who's the alpha so far in that bullpen? Like, who's the guy that's kind of taken over the reins? I know you're probably the closer, so I'm assuming it's you. But like, who's the alpha right now, or like the talker, the funny guy in that bullpen?
Oh man, Barnesy's pretty outgoing. I think Jacob Barnes is pretty outgoing. So I'd probably call him that guy.
And let's go into your routine, because I'm obviously fascinated by the closing pitcher routine. What is your day like, knowing that you might not go some days or stuff like that? Are you ripping zins in the bullpen? Like, what is your kind of pre-pitch routine before you get on that bump?
No, I'm in the weight room, in the training room for the first 5 innings, and then I head out kind of right there in the middle of the fifth, and just try to. I kind of look at it the way you just said it. Like I might not pitch. I might pitch. I might not pitch. So I don't try to lock it in really until it really starts to get close to that time. I'm lucky enough to know when I'm going to pitch on most nights. So, I just kind of try to let the game do its thing, kind of go with the flow, have good conversations, talk about, whatever, talk about, stuff other than baseball, preferably. And then once it's time to flip the switch, then it's go time. And usually that doesn't happen until about the 8th inning. So, I have a few innings to kind of get the feel of the game, get the feel of the atmosphere, and then really hit it.
Welcome back, Avery, by the way. Good
full
internet.
Full computer crash.
That's -1 there on the score sheet for you.
You never left.
I wanted to talk about yesterday's game, because as fans, I wanted Manny Gonzalez in prison. But as a pitcher, how hard is it for you when you guys are working your dick off on the mound and you're not really getting those calls from the umpire? What was it like for you to kind of watch that game yesterday and see your guys in the pen getting absolutely hoed by umpires or anything like that? How hard is it for you to not react when you're on the mound for that?
Yeah, it's tough. But at the same time, you don't really have the tool of the K zone to confirm what you think your eyes are telling you, because it's happening really fast while you're out there. And I throw pitches all the time, and my head's not even snapped back up to the mitt by the time it's already in the glove. So you can't really tell a lot of times, where stuff is actually landing, and if you're actually getting hosed or not. And it's frustrating for sure when you're watching your guys go through it. But when you're out there competing, you're worried about the next pitch anyways. So, whatever happened that last pitch, you can't control the umpires and you're just worrying about the next one.
What's the hardest part of pitching in the cold?
Your grip, for sure.
Yeah.
You can kind of get your body to a point and where it's warm enough and you feel like you're good to go and you're not going to risk yourself getting hurt or anything. But I think the grip, I think there's a real case that they should bring to MLB, regarding games with less than, whatever, 40 degrees of temperature or whatever, to give pitchers a little extra time on that pitch clock, because it really becomes a safety risk. And, when you're out there and it's 40 degrees and you can't even feel the ball, you could kill somebody literally.
Yeah. And let's talk about that Wednesday night appearance, because I still have chills talking about it. I mean, I probably didn't sleep that night. I was so fired up. After that last out you got of your appearance, in your mind, were you kind of like, I'm a fucking dog? Like, because that was absolutely ridiculous shit, dude. Like, was that probably the most fired up you've been in a very long time on a baseball mound?
Yeah. I mean, look, I get fired up no matter what the game is. Like if I'm out there and I'm executing my plan and things are going, my way, and we're gonna win the game and stuff like that. Yeah, I get fired up like that. So it's not like something where it's like, oh, this is a big game, this is not a big game, anything like that. I'm out there to win every single night, and you got to stack those together if you want to be where you want to be at the end of the year. So all of them are important. But yeah, it's fun, obviously, when you're in your flow state and everything's coming out the right way and you're getting the right results.
Were you ready to run at second? Because there was a possibility there. We almost had Jeff Hoffman going on second base there.
No, I knew there was a rule change there. That was very important that they put that rule change in, because nobody needs that.
Did everything change for you? I was looking back some of your Instagram pictures when you retired, wearing the glasses on the mound. When you went no glasses after that, it seemed like maybe it went hand in hand with, hey, we're on the upwards trajectory now.
No, I never thought about that. I just kind of got sick of them fogging up on me.
It's the worst.
So I started to go with contacts, and but no, it makes good sense now that yeah, it's probably around the time, because I stopped wearing them after Colorado, right?
Yeah. It's contacts, it's not LASIK.
Yeah, it's contacts. Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't made the jump to LASIK yet.
Maybe
Johnny, you're next.
If you did that, you wouldn't have a 7 ERA when you went to college in Kansas. Maybe, I don't know. Would have been a good.
It wasn't the glasses, I'll tell you that.
So I have a good question here from I will not name drop who it is, but he wants me to ask you why you are terrible at Call of Duty.
Well, if I'm terrible, then what is he?
I play with this guy a lot as well. He's not the greatest video gamer, I'll be honest with you.
Because I think I carry him for the most part, and not the other way around. So
okay,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And then he has another question. This is probably a funny one that I want to ask you. He said, ask him about the trade you made in fantasy football that essentially made Trey Turner win the fantasy football league. Can you maybe give us a background on what that trade was to make the multi-millionaire win the fantasy football league?
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this to myself.
Who was it for?
But I handed Trey. I'll just tell you the people I gave him. It won't matter who I got back. And that doesn't even matter. I gave him Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Bowers.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
that
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
There's no one who you could have gotten back in return
Correct. Correct.
There's no collusion from other people in the league.
I panicked like week 2, and Henry, I was like, this guy's washed. He's not going to run the ball with Lamar. And then, yeah. So
I'm surprised Schwarber wasn't mad about that, because we used to play Call of Duty with Schwarber all the time, and he's a little bit of a spark plug. He does not take things lightly. So I'm surprised Schwarber even let that slide.
I know. Well, I think at the time it was like, man, this this might go either way, but it didn't. It only went one way,
I,
unfortunately.
I want to do some pitch stuff. Splitters this year. You threw 16 splitters to righties last year. You're already at 12 this year.
Mhm.
Who was the change for that? How did you get more comfortable? And maybe just your thoughts on splitters to righties so far.
Um, I think I think being able to throw both of the off-speed pitches to both sides of the plate creates more indecision. I think I would have done it more, if it would have got called more in the past couple of years. Like I was fully on board with doing that. It was just the slider was doing its job, and like I just didn't need it, no, necessarily. But we feel like this year, there's obviously still steps to be taken. So we're going to try to get better any way we can, and if that's one of the ways that we target and it works out, then great. But if not, we know that we still have the slider and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just something that the Blue Jays pitching guys came to me with, and I was on board with it right away.
It makes sense because it seems like every right-hander's throwing a splitter in that bullpen.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And so
Yeah, and
hey,
it's just really it's important that the hitters can't eliminate pitches. Like I want them to be thinking about every single one of them, that they could potentially get any of them.
Yeah, and you have some good guys to learn from. I mean, Kevin Gossman's splitter's insane. Eric Swanson's splitter's absolutely insane. But I wanted to talk about the pitching coach because we're massive Pistol Pete guys. I think he is absolutely electric. The dude was almost gotten fisticuffs with the third base coach on the Boston Red Sox on Tuesday. I don't know if you saw that. What's it like just kind of learning from Pistol Pete and just kind of playing under him? Because he is absolutely electric. I love Pete Walker.
Yeah, he's great. Super easy to talk to. Fun to hang out with. I think he, for the most part, lets guys kind of be themselves and just, get their work done. And then, if he has anything more for you, he'll obviously grab you and pull you aside and talk to you about that. But for the most part, I think guys love him just because he lets guys be themselves and just go out and execute your game plan.
Do you think he would try and get on the mound and get one last out if you really wanted to? He seems that fired up all the time.
He gets pretty fired up. I wouldn't put it past him. I'll tell you that.
He's so sick. He is so sick. We actually do have a question. So this is a question that I ask every single guest, and the internet continues to make fun of me for it. You have 4 kids. I believe your sons are your oldest children. Is that correct?
Yep.
Are your sons? I get made fun of for me ask this question. Are your sons aware you're a professional baseball player? Is that something they're like, my dad is in the show?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank God.
We finally got one, John.
Finally got a yes. I asked Danny Jansen if his 1-month-old was aware. He said, my son's 1. So yeah, Bowden Francis kids don't know yet. So yeah, I'm just glad that your sons are aware. Is that something that are they very interested in the game of baseball as well?
Yeah, they play themselves. They play the video game. They're very much, they want to play baseball all the time.
Have they gravitated towards a player on the team yet? Like, do they have a favorite player yet?
Yeah, probably Vladdy. It's never me.
No. If they're playing the video game, are they mad about your rating at all, or are they happy with it?
I don't even think I ever they don't ever put me in a pitch because for me to start a game, you kind of got to scroll a little bit, and they're picking the first guy on the list, and it's usually Gauzy or Barrios or whoever. But yeah, they know the basics of how to play the video game. They're not really as much worried about the personnel or any of that stuff.
They're not matchup heavy yet on MLB The
No,
Show.
They're not very analytical yet.
Do you have a favorite mound to throw? At none of the home teams you played on, is there a best mound in baseball that whenever you go there, it's like I like throwing on this mound, this game mound?
Yeah, Tropicana. Yeah.
Really?
Close. Yeah.
Interesting. So you're pissed that
it's massive. It's huge. I think it's cheating, honestly. It's everybody's stuff is amplified there. Like it's not just one single person. It's ridiculous.
You think it's taller than some of the other ones?
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah. And
So they should bring it out like that.
Cincinnati's is shorter than everybody's as well. Since
That's
we're
a
throwing
problem
people
when the
under
park's
bus.
small. They should bring it up like the NBA when they get the 10-foot to see how tall it is. We should do that one game at the Trop if they ever bring it back.
Absolutely. It's going to be the highest. I guarantee it.
Okay, what's your favorite city to visit, like to play in?
Oof. I'll say Boston. I'll say Boston. I grew up a Red Sox fan. So anytime I get to pitch there, that's like it never gets old for me.
And what's the best bullpen layout in baseball?
Ours.
Hell
Toronto.
Minimal amount of fans. You're kind of under it, throwing in front of the fans.
Yeah, you can kind of pick your poison. You can be down underneath, where all the prep area is, or you could be up, getting the feel of the atmosphere of the game. So it's perfect. It's got everything you could possibly need out there, and it's the same on the visiting side as well. So
yeah, I mean I love how the fans can kind of give it to the visitors' bullpen when they're warming up. It's pretty electric. But I messaged you about opening day, and we were there. How electric is it to play in front of just 50,000, 45,000 people that are just like you? It's cliche, but you have an entire country rooting for you. So how cool is it to kind of play for the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah, really cool. Anytime, I mean, you see videos of the 2015 playoff run and stuff like that when the stadium is just packed to the max. And I think anytime our stadium is full, it's one of the best atmospheres that's around. So I think hopefully we win a lot of games here early on and we get some real excitement around the club, and it would be great to play in front of that kind of crowd night in and night out.
Do you love your light show for when you come in at home?
I do. It's pretty cool. They did a great job.
Avery, give them your thoughts on it. Don't turtle, Avery. What are your thoughts on the song?
I'm a like heavy on the closer entrance, and yours is a more mellow, good song closer entrance, but it's what's worked for you all the time. The light show's cool. I'm like heavy on the closer entrance. So that was my thoughts.
We want house music. We want like house music or something like gets the crowd going, but yours is mellow, and I get it. The light show. Did you have any say in like what colors or did they just show you the light show one day, or was the first time you saw it was when you came in?
First time I saw it was when I came in.
That's cool.
I didn't. They told me that they had something cooking, and I was like, hey, I trust you guys. I obviously went through like all the shoots and stuff in spring training with like the camera and video shoots and stuff, but I didn't know what the finished product was going to look like at all.
When you're about to pitch, because I kind of relate to you, not in terms of athleticism, but we're both kind of raging lunatics. Are you ripping Red Bull before you pitch, or is it just all natural adrenaline? Because I'd love to know when you're coming in, what that pregame, what that pre-pitch routine is kind of like.
Yeah. No, I'm not consuming any extra caffeine. I feel like I can get there by myself. I don't need the uppers at all. And I just I kind of let the adrenaline build on its own. I might have a cup of coffee in the clubhouse before I head out, but for the most part it's just water and maybe a snack, and then I rip a few plyo balls off the plyo wall, and I head up and start warming up.
That's awesome. I have a question about gear. Why do you have a different glove sponsor and cleat sponsor?
Well, because shoe companies don't want to give out deals anymore is the short answer. And I actually was signed with Mizuno to be head to toe, but the cleats bothered my feet a little bit. So last year in spring training, I axed them and went with the old reliable Nikes that I've been wearing for a long time. So that's the only reason.
So we're gonna actually just call you a Gate 14 athlete, but we don't have cleats or anything like that. But if anyone asks what your cleats, we're gonna say you're a Gate. We'll just send us invoices. We'll pay for your cleats from here on out. Just say you're a Gate 14 athlete. But you're the second ECU athlete we've had on this podcast. I don't know if you know, but Trey Savage
Yeah.
ECU athlete, first round pick. He's been on the show multiple times. Have you got a chance to kind of talk to him or even watch him pitch? Because he is electric on the mound.
Yeah, I got to talk to him, meet him. We have the same agent, so that makes it a little easier too. See him around sometimes at like, you know, CAA events and stuff like that. But yeah, super nice kid, quiet, but it definitely you can see the dog come out when he's in the game. So that's really cool to see. And I watched him through college. I'm going to get to start watching him, through the minors now that he's throwing. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see him grow and hopefully we see him up here soon.
That would be awesome. That the next ECU Blue Jays All-Star would be great to have
There you
Trey
go.
Savage as that guy. How do you guys stay so fresh? It seems an impossible task with how much you guys
It's
throw
insane.
all the time. Like it's like, oh, he's down. He threw 25 pitches the last 3 days, and oh no, he's
Yeah.
gonna pitch again today.
Yeah, honestly, we put a lot of faith and a lot of trust into the training staff. We all have our routines that hopefully by this point in all our careers that are pretty rock solid. I think I have a pretty good one. I think the better your routine is, the fresher you can make yourself feel for the next day. So I know a lot of guys are very in tune with their body these days, and that's exactly how it should be. You should know your body better than anybody, and you should know what gets you going and what you need to do to get yourself going and get to the point where you can throw that night, back-to-back nights, 3 nights in a row, whatever it is. But yeah, it's a team effort for sure. And there are days when you can't quite get there and you need the next guy to step up. And I think that's what's great about our pen is we have a few guys that can be thrown into the fire and you're not really going to bat an eye. You're just going to, let them do their thing.
Are you lifting a lot in season?
I lift every day before the game.
Wow.
I do something to prime my body every day, within those first 5 innings. Usually it's, light, but it gets my body, firing and exploding. And then I do 2 total bodies a week as well. So the days that I do my 2 total bodies, I won't do anything pregame, but I'm doing something every day.
How awesome is it to watch Yimi Garcia pitch? Because we've heard multiple stories that this guy on day 1 of spring training was just pumping 98. How sick is Yimi Garcia?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Super strong. Nice guy, quiet, but also very smart and very, very, very talented. And yeah, it's fun to get to watch him go out and do exactly what his game plan is. Seems like every night, and then he gets some runners on sometimes, and he just absolutely shuts it down. So, super fun to watch, and I look forward to sharing the pen with him.
Is there any loud guys in the pen?
Loud guys. Let's see. Barnes is probably the loudest, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Barnes is probably the loudest.
Grizzled.
Everybody else pretty reserved.
Really?
Except for him.
Well,
Yeah.
wait until you get our guy Swanee down there. Now, Swanee's a talker.
I know Swanee can talk. Swanee was my locker mate in spring training, so I heard it all.
Yeah, he's absolutely electric. But speaking about electric guys, getting to watch that starting rotation every day. I talked about it. I think this is one of the best starting rotations in the American League. I mean, best starting ERA. How sick is it to kind of know that essentially every single day you could maybe be coming out of that pen because those starters are going to be shutting down the door. I mean, you got Gossman, Barrio, Easton Lucas has been unbelievable, Chris Bassett, all these guys. So what has that been like to kind of see?
Yeah, it's awesome getting to see them do their thing. That's kind of like that's the gold standard, right? For starters, they're all running out there every 5 days. They're going 6 innings and less than 3 runs, and it makes games close. It makes games interesting, and that's exactly where we want to be. We want to be in striking distance, with the ability to win games late. And we feel like, with who we're bringing in after those guys, that we can hang on to those late leads. So awesome to see them doing what they're doing, and we're excited to get to watch them some more.
What are your favorite things to do off the field? What's Jeff Hoffman like away from the field besides
Besides
being a
carrying,
dad?
besides
Yeah.
carrying
Yeah.
Bryson.
Yeah. uh, yeah. Besides taking care of the kids and hanging out with the kids, it's golf or video games pretty much.
Okay. What's your handicap?
Uh,
We're not
at the
keeping
end of
one.
the end of the off season, I was like an 8.
Oh, that'll play.
Wow.
That's good enough.
Yeah, that'll play absolutely.
Yeah. I
We
played a
might have
lot
to
this off season
we
though.
might
I
have to
played.
add you to the Gate 14 golf match we got going.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ernie we played with Ernie and Davis and those guys last year, and Ernie Clement, I don't know if you played with them yet. That dude
Ernie's
is
way better than me.
insane at golf. I think
Yeah.
Avery beat him on the front nine though when we did the match, but
Yeah, he
Oh,
beat
did
me
you?
on the back. He beat me on the back pretty good. He plays golf like he plays baseball. It's just like free and
Yeah.
easy. It's gonna
Yeah.
go 280 and it's gonna land in the middle of the fairway every time. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this sucks
Yeah,
to
I'm
watch.
not as good as him, but I played a lot this offseason. All my kids were in school, so I was either in the gym or I was playing golf.
Are you bringing the clubs on the road ever? Like, is there some away place that you like playing golf?
Yeah. Yeah, once the weather gets better, I won't bring them probably for the first month or so while everything is cold and rainy. But yeah, once we start heading south, for sure.
and I wanted to talk about Vladdy because kind of a cool situation before the Red Sox series, before you guys take 3 of 4. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signs the extension. What has it been like playing with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. so far? A guy that's so polarizing with the
Yeah.
Toronto Blue Jays fans and fans around baseball.
Yeah, it's really cool. Vladdy, from the get-go when I got here, it was very apparent what kind of person and player he was. Super great leader in the clubhouse. From the brief time that I've played with him, he's obviously a game changer. So it was awesome to see, and we were all hoping it was just a matter of time before that got done, and now that it's all done, it feels like we can stop worrying about the stuff that doesn't really matter and start worrying about focusing on baseball and putting our best foot forward every single night.
Is he gonna treat the team to a nice meal or what?
You better.
We talked about that last night on the bus. Actually, I think that might happen. So we're excited about that.
Is that a thing on the road? Like next road trip, he's gonna treat you guys, you think?
Not necessarily next one, but maybe we'll just pick a good spot in a good city, and we'll just bookmark it and we'll wait for that one.
Tons of get a couple bottles of Camus. I mean, that just won't put a dent in what he has going. But speaking of your career, I love asking these questions to pitchers. Is there one guy so far in your career that you are just like, I can't get this fucking dude out? Like, is there one guy that technically owns you?
I mean, I think that guy is Mookie, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked at the numbers in a while, but I think Mookie has gotten me a few times.
Yeah,
Pretty good,
but
pretty good player.
I'm not positive about that. I don't know.
What are your
None
thoughts?
of the other ones really jump off the
Yeah,
page
that's good. I mean, that means you're doing something right when it's
and when
like
I was
that.
in Colorado and everybody got me back then, so that doesn't count. Like that's a different guy. So
How demoralizing is it to pitch in Colorado? No, every time that the ball's just gonna go 1,000 feet.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's just a certain repertoire, a certain arsenal works there, and it just wasn't mine. So it is what it is, and yeah, I'm glad I made it out.
Was there a specific change or a specific moment you could look back on and be like, all right, now I can confidently say I'm a dude or I'm a dog on the mound? Was it in a time that something clicked for you where you really you figured it all out?
Well, I don't think I've still figured it all out. I think there are things that I work on every single day, probably that aren't apparent to you guys, but the things that go through my head during catch play and very elementary type stuff that I'm still working on a day-to-day basis. But I think when I stopped, I would say when I stopped worrying about mechanics, I took a big step forward, and then all of a sudden, velocity came back and just made life a lot easier. I was getting away with more misses because I was throwing harder again, and slider got harder and sharper. The splitter started getting up into the 90s, and I would say that was like the probably the point where everything stepped forward.
Who's your catch partner?
My catch partner is actually one of our pitching coaches,
Okay.
Luke. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I thought he was going to say
Yeah.
Sam.
Not a
Maybe.
player.
I thought I was going to say Sam. What are your
Not
thoughts?
Sam.
I got a couple more. Like, what are your thoughts on the team so far? I mean, the boys are buzzing, man. 8-6, just took a series at Fenway, and you haven't even really had the big three launch home runs yet. So the potential, the projectability is there. And as fans, I'm excited about it because I'm going to have the wrath of Johnny Junta on Twitter body bagging everyone that doubted this team. So things are going pretty well. But what is the thoughts right now in the clubhouse, the vibes, or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a great spot. Even the games that we're losing, we're losing close games, and that's right, exactly where we want to be. You know, those games can go either which way. Obviously, we want them to swing our way late, and to pull those ones out, but it's not going to happen every time. And we also know that those guys are going to start raking here soon. So you got to be able to win the close ones, and then you're gonna have those guys come around finally, and you're gonna have some blowouts. So we're happy with where we're at right now. We're not in any way we're not where we want to be, but we're winning games, and we're winning close games, and that's a good thing.
Last one from me. How nice is it to know that you're never going to get rained out at home? How mentally it's good.
It's unbelievable. It's one of the best things ever. I mean, I don't know, like all the stadiums should have roofs on them or retractable at least. Like this, like it's awesome. Being able to pull up to Rogers Center, and there's like 6 inches of snow on the ground, but you're still playing that night. Like it's the best.
Being with having a big family, are you outside of the city or do you live in the city? Because I feel like that would kind of suck to live in the city with a massive family in like a condo, right?
Yeah, no, we're outside the city.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is the last question I do have. On June 19th, we just announced it. We have the pleasure of throwing out the first pitch. Obviously, we're Chris Bassett guys. If Chris Bassett is pitching that day, can we write you down to be one of the guys that catches our first pitch? Because I got Swanee catching me. Avery's is kind of in limbo. It'd be kind of an honor to have you catch our first pitch on June 19th.
Absolutely.
If Bassett's down there.
Absolutely. Write me in.
Let's go. But anyways, man, I want to give a special shout out to Amir Garrett, a guy that kind of got me into podcasting, who made this possible. Bryson said he asked you about it. I'm still up in limbo if he actually asked you to come on this podcast, but whatever. We'll let that slide. Did he ask you? Be honest. It's a true circle.
Who, Bryson?
Yeah.
Bryson never asked me. Amir asked me.
Yeah.
He's gonna get. I mean, that's insane.
Go get him.
That's it stuff for Bryson. But anyways, Jeff, man, obviously we'll see you around. But it's been a pleasure watching you so far, and you're absolutely electric. So it's good to have you on our side now. And best of luck the remainder of the season. And there's kind of a set of Gate 14 rules now. Is every single time we ask you to go to dinner, you kind of have to go to dinner with us, and we always have your. We always have your back now online, so just don't worry about anyone coming at you online. The wrath of Gate 14 Nation, the wrath of me, will be going at them and saying things to them that will make them want to delete their tweets. So just know we always have your back now, Jeff.
I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
There we go.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. All right, there you have it. I mean, Jeff Hoffman, what a guy. What a guy. We say that about everyone, though, but you talked about this last pod. It's very rare we get someone on the pod that we're like, I hate that guy, or that guy didn't give us a lot. He's electric. And Bryson Stott is officially in my bad books. Hopefully he listens to that and hears the borderline dead to me accusations of Bryson not actually asking, even though he said he confirmed that he was coming on. But we don't hold him. We don't hold him grudges. We had Hoffman on the pod anyways.
Yeah, dude, my computer also gets a 0 out of 10 on that podcast. Just complete shutdown, Wi-Fi, everything gone in the middle of that. So I apologize for that. But we're coming off of 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, this game ended. An electric Sunday night game. The Orioles and the Blue Jays, this whole series, were giving each other baseball games. Said, hey, I don't want to win this game. Let's have you guys have it. Felt like a crazy overmanaged game today. And
no blood.
Against all odds, the Toronto Blue Jays won the baseball game today. Yeah, it's just like that's why baseball's so up and down. Like you want people dead in the fifth inning, and things work out in the end. But
No
what a
joke
game!
though, Abe. It's like the fact that they split. Like you could make the argument they should have won the last 3 games they played. Yesterday, 3-run lead. You keep Bowden in, Vladdy not tagging at first, dropping baseballs thrown at him. The game against the Red Sox, the ump show today, they could have rolled over and lost that game. And it all goes to show the bottom of the lineup guys. We were talking about Miles Straw potentially starting in New Hampshire for Christ's sakes, and this guy is lighting the world on fire. He's the reason they won today.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing pretty for Miles Straw, but he's got to find a way to get it done, man. That's really what it is. Until the big guys start driving in all the runs, you'll take what you can get from the bottom, and especially early, we'll take it.
Yeah, it was a great game today, and your take about winning the last one is aging like wine, buddy. It's aging like wine, because if they won that game today, if you split the games, like if you won yesterday's game the way they won today, and then lost today's game the way they lost yesterday, this would be a whole different tune with this podcast. So great win. And Jays are in first in the AL East.
Are they actually?
Having a mid-off in the AL East.
I mean, you'll take all the wins. From every Baltimore game we've played this year, I was gone for obviously the first weekend a little bit, so it's not as big, but feels like we've been dominated and they've been the better team. And then somehow we're still, 3-3 against them so far this year?
Yeah.
I think we'll take it.
Yeah, it's just a great week. I mean, they lose that game, Abe. They go, I believe, 3-5 on a road trip. Is that correct? They played 8 games, 3 against the Mets, 4 against the Red Sox. That's 7. So they go 3-6 if they lose that game.
I think that's how the math would play out.
And they switch it to 4-5. Like that's a completely different vibes. And we talked about this. This first month is absolutely hell. I mean, you think it gets easier. I'm looking at the schedule right now. They got Spencer Strider on Wednesday.
Yeah, luckily Spencer Strider's coming back and we get his season debut on Wednesday.
Yeah, so this is a hell month. May gets a little bit easier. I think you can make the case May might be the easiest part of the schedule, but just keeping their head above water and winning baseball games, and teams in the division are dropping baseball games like the Red Sox against the Chicago White Sox team. They lost 2 of 3. They almost blew it today again. Yep. So it's just the vibes are high right now. The vibes are really high right now. There's some things they need to clean up. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Not a great weekend for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. the week after he signs his $500 million deal. 2 errors. I don't care. I'm marking that drop ball at first an error. And 3 errors. I'm marking the base running mishap an error as well.
He was safe on that. I believe he was safe.
You think so?
Too. Yeah.
But they can't review it, though.
Well, they said they didn't have a good enough angle. So I was watching the game with CB, and he made the play. I was like, oh, that's a good base running play from Vlad, actually. It wasn't like a too aggressive play because he was in there without really a play, and then they called it early. And the ump punched out Vlad when they went to appeal to first, and he punched him out like it was a bang-bang play. He was waiting to do that. And
he wanted his shine.
I hated that. That was the one that pissed me off the most. But really bad defensive weekend, really bad base running week. Like Nathan Lucas playing like he's not his 10th year in professional baseball on the bases. It's like I wanted Nathan Lucas to be there because I didn't think he'd be in those situations. I thought he'd been around and the game wouldn't speed up on him because he'd been there for so long. But it's just like Miles Straw is the guy where the game's not speeding up on him. So that's been kind of disappointing.
That was very bad, Abe.
Yeah, but I hated the move. So I don't know who's giving. Sometimes the players on their own bunt. So most of the time when it's the bottom guys, they're getting that. But Wagner, I was kind of shocked because not all he's been doing, but his easy out is the ground out to the right side. And you had Lucas on. I thought it was just such an easy, just let him roll.
But if he doesn't put the ball in play, though, Abe, it kind of looks dumb.
Sure.
And this is a team that can't manufacture
I trust
runs,
Will.
though. They
he's
can't
not
manufacture runs, though.
Yeah. He's not the swing and miss guy, though. Like if it happens, it happens. And he didn't come close to a bunt that was in the zone. Like it still didn't work the way he ended up rolling over. I thought that's just what a smart play have been. But Nathan Lucas taking the jump and then the throw behind. That's a tough one there.
Where do you rank today's game in terms of frustration or roller coaster in Blue Jays world. Like that had to be for me top one. Like,
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the George Springer at bat.
oh yeah, that's what I was just about to bring
Yeah,
up.
no, I totally that was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
angriest I was today.
yeah. Like so for the people, I'm assuming you watched the game. But George Springer takes a swing and does the classic drop down to one knee. My hand hurts. And he is trying to grip the trainer's hand, and he physically can't grip it. Like he is trying to grip it, and it looks like it's like the grip strength was like 2 when he does that. And runner on second, third, down 2. This is a massive at bat, Avery. You got a righty on the mound, Alan Roden, Will Wagner on the bench to pinch hit for the DH. You don't have to worry about the defense aspect of it. And this motherfucker gets put back in the batter's box.
Yes.
And it's like, and he swifts on 298 elevated fastballs where you can't swing at with one hand, just so we're clear. And it's like, I'm trying to wrap my head around the thought process. I'm like, what is John Schneider doing here?
Yeah,
like,
you're going to George has been around forever. He's not going to say, "Oh, I need to come out of this game." That's I think that was a moment where we should have taken him out because it was obvious to the Orioles because all they did after that was throw him fastballs up. If they thought he had anything left, they would have thrown a breaking ball or done something else. But
yeah,
I think to everyone else in the world, it was pretty obvious. And then George Springer takes a second and third swing, and then he runs down the clubhouse and he's done for the day.
By the way, we just had a great development. Jeff Hoffman blew a kiss to the Orioles dugout as he got the final out.
Did he?
Yeah, this picture is nails. I'm tweeting for Game 14. I'm gonna go, holy shit.
You got to Instagram that too.
I just posted on Insta, but I'll post it. Should I post it right now? Did you double Insta?
Double Insta. They're gonna like that too. That's great stuff. I mean, if you guys have heard this podcast, he was shocked, and you know what? Thank you to the doctors of the Baltimore Orioles for believing in Andrew Kittredge and not Jeff Hoffman because it's worked out so in our favor to start this year. But like I'm thinking about today's game, the errors back to back, everything. There's no chance they win this baseball game last year, and that's okay. Like
Avery, a big part of it is the bullpen, though. Like that's why. I mean,
for sure. Well, we had Jacob Barnes ready to go. When I saw Jacob Barnes get up, and there was a thought that Jeff Hoffman was not coming back in the game, I was like, oh,
well, maybe. Avery.
That's why we didn't bunt Heineman. It's like we're gonna need a 7 spot here to have any chance at this thing.
Yeah,
if Jacob Barnes is a good reliever this year. I'll be very happy. But
yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to the bullpen. Mason Flaherty, nails.
Good inning.
Nails today. Really great inning. Yimmy Garcia. Dare we say more about Yimmy? I mean, Christ, the dude's insane. And then Jeff Hoffman gives you the 9th and the 10th. And you talked about that in the podcast with him. The fact that he has an arsenal of four pitches makes it more comfortable being able to give him multiple innings. Compared to a Romano who's going fastball slider, right? I mean, it's a lot different.
You get so many different looks when you get 4 instead of 2.
Yeah. And Jeff Hoffman didn't get bums out. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what he faced in the lineup. So it's like, unbelievable stuff. And I know we have a lot of Shawkins people in here, but you got to give your flowers to Ross Atkins for trusting that Jeff Hoffman was fine with the physicals and giving him the amount of money he gave him, because I saw a lot of tweets about this. It's like, I haven't felt this good about a closer since disavow Roberto Osuna. Like when Jeff Hoffman comes in the ball game, in my mind, I'm like, this guy's unbelievable. I know this guy.
I felt that way with Romano. I don't want to downplay how the end was.
There was a lot of instances with Romano where there was question marks. I feel like in terms of the Jeff Hoffman's so far as his career as a Blue Jays, 1 earned run, and I believe in 9 or 14. I forgot how many innings. It might be 14 innings or 9, and I don't remember how many it is, but. The Jeff Hoffman train has left the building, and it is steamrolling down the hill. This dude is
Jeff Hoffman's a great closer. Jordan Romano was also a great closer here. I don't want to it's just recency bias, I think, with Romano. Like 2 back-to-back seasons of 36 saves. He's like a 2.1 ERA guy in those 2 seasons. I don't want to disavow, just recency bias thing. But Jeff Hoffman is great, and we're just rolling from what he did last year, and it's awesome to see.
What I do like, though, Avery, is the biggest thing for me is I like closers and pitchers that can talk shit and back it up. Jeff Hoffman being able to blow a kiss to the Orioles bullpen. We are 2 weeks into the season, and he's doing that shit. Talk that talk. You've given up 1 earned run the entire season. So
I have a nice Sportsnet stat here.
Let's hear it.
From their Twitter account. Prior to today's victory, the Jays had lost 143 consecutive games when trailing by 3+ runs in the 8th inning or later. first win since April 26th, 2022.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
That's insane. And by the way, another breaking news update to the George Springer saga. He is X-rays are negative. So it might have just been discomfort, maybe.
Well, he looked pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah. But yeah, George Springer things are negative, so we don't have to worry about potential call up. But I'm assuming he won't be playing tomorrow. But hey.
But maybe it's a ligament thing.
Verbal meme of Colin Cowherd. George, don't worry. Miles Straw's here.
16 hits today and only scoring 7 runs, and then
that's not bad though.
Yeah.
2
errors. All right, we found a way to win. Kirk home run.
Yeah.
No runners on
after the non-block ball. This game was full of guys today that redeemed themselves because you had. Let's talk about it. Kirk doesn't block a ball in the dirt. Buck Martinez is very rare to roast catchers. Roasts him for not blocking that ball.
Yeah.
Home run next inning. Nathan Lucas looks like a T-baller on the base pass. Makes a diving catch that Santander would have still been on the warning track for, albeit.
Yeah.
And then just full of redemption, the roommates we talk about. A lot of people talk shit about Ernie and Davis. Davis, great day today, on base twice, single. Ernie
three
Clement,
times, buddy.
Three times. Ernie Clement, 4 for 5 day. That's the Ernie we know, Abe. That's the Ernie we know and love. I texted him after the game. I said, we always have your back. I love you, brother. He goes, love you, kid. Long season. We stay. We knew we were pushing. Yep. So great stuff from the Earn Dog. And just it was a redemption game today. That's the best way to describe it. It was a redemption game for a lot of guys today. And I don't know how you just the bullpen. It's weird, Avery, seeing zeros in the fourth bullpens. I mean, this was a bullpen last year that had a negative WAR. It's absolutely insane. But I guess we could talk about the negatives from yesterday's game. What was your thought process in the game yesterday? Cool to see a Tony Tater's home run.
Yes,
kind of ruined it with the rest of the game. Do you leave Bowden Francis in?
No, so I was talking to CB as it was happening, and it was 2 outs in the 5th, and I was like, you know what, I'm probably good with him being done here. And then the home run happened, tie game, and then it was it. He was just done. I thought you were happy to get his effort, and then ended up being tied. So I would have been done with him even before that, before they brought him in for the next one. So that's fine.
Where do you stand with the scorekeepers, Avery, giving him 5 earned runs when Vladdy drops a ball at first?
I mean, it should have been technically a throwing error, right? Like, it was a ball in the dirt.
A throwing error?
If you don't make a good throw, you get a throwing error. It's a ball that should be picked, but you give the first baseman an error on catching the ball when it's at his chest, and then it goes out of his glove, right?
Yeah.
We know major league players should be making that play, but it's not a simple play by the scorekeepers. And that sucks for Bowden to get all tagged for all of those at that time. So, I was watching in the bar, so I didn't have the sound on. It wasn't as locked in as before, but as soon as the Mullins triple happened, it was like, God damn it. I think we're going to lose this baseball game. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that game had and it's just how Blue Jays fandom works. We talk about, man, once the big 3 starts hitting home runs, this team's going to start winning baseball games. Bo, Vladdy, and Santander did well. What happens? They lose. That's just sometimes how it happens. But you can eliminate games like that when you win games like you did today.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, that's exactly
Especially in the deserve to win a meter card, as the kids say, in the analytic crowd out there. But
it was a sloppy weekend of baseball from
really sloppy. Really sloppy, Ave.
Didn't want to hit anyone in when it was easy. Still found a way today, but again, runners on third, doing jobs. It just wasn't very good. Base running mistakes, fielding mistakes. Yeah. Just bad weekend. But
I gotta ask you this, Abe. Is the American League East mid? Yankees they were up 3-0 today, gave up 5 unanswered.
I think the Giants are good.
Giants are very good. Jung Ho Lee is sick.
2 bombs
today. 2 bombs today.
He's a really cool player.
Yeah.
Is the American League East mid? No.
I think so. The Orioles are going to get guys back. They're not going to be at the bottom of the division. The Rays, that pitching staff does not look good as of right now.
They brought that demon Joe Boyle in today, and he shoved. That was
Yeah, he's
awesome.
sick. But yeah, the American League as of right now, I just think the American League as a whole is the Angels are the top of the fucking West right now.
I
Playing good
think
ball though.
Yeah, I think they'll fall at some point, but that's fun to have. Like, the American League East is exactly how we kind of thought it would be. Win
Yeah.
total's kind of too high. A lot of teams are going to hang out around 85 wins.
Yeah.
And we're right on pace to do that with how
Yeah.
everyone's been playing so
You
far.
called it.
Yeah.
You called it.
But we got a nice at least we get the Braves when they're kind of playing bad.
The Braves are playing bad ball. By the way, Rory just put a ball in the water. Congratulations, Rory, winning the Masters, by the way. Just jinxed it. But yeah, the Braves, this could be a tough series, man. I mean, this is not a team that they're obviously not playing they're not playing to their standards. I think this is a better team than they're showing.
Yeah.
Austin Riley's of the world. Ozuna's going to figure it out, even though he's a piece of shit. Tons of guys on that team that are not playing well. But closing the book on the Orioles series, because this pod is long enough, I guess, with the Hoffman pod. Great series, and shout out to the guys who could have rolled over and just turned the game over. Miles Straws of the world, Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider, guys that Nathan Lucas making that catch, guys that have easily could have just turtled and lost when things were going bad. Down 3, and they claw all the way back in the 8th against Cano, who's a good pitcher, very good pitcher. But Bautista being down helped this team a lot because he's not going to go back-to-back days. But he almost blew that yesterday as well, though, just to be clear.
He did.
But yeah, tough stuff for Orioles fans when Jeff Hoffman's right there across the dugout, just absolutely fucking shoving, doing what he does. So shout out to the Jays for showing resilience, winning that game. And 9-6, Abe, is that the record? 9-7? 9-7, sorry. 9-7, 16 games in. Before we go into the Braves preview, how would you grade the Jays so far? What grade would you give the Jays coming back home after a 10-game road trip? Or 9-game, I guess.
B. We're kind of are what we thought they were. Pitching, they're pitching better than I thought, playing offense worse than I thought. But I think you can change, those can reverse and we'll be fine. But
fair.
It's B. It's not. Fair. Yeah, nothing's.
I think a B is a good grade. I think a B is a good grade in terms of that. I think a B is a good grade. It is good to know that it was justifiable to be fuming, because obviously I'm kind of the spark plug and I get angry very easily on this podcast. But it's good to know that you were in the same boat as me with the George Springer staying in the ballgame. It was like the most consensus angry thing in the history of Blue Jays Twitter. There wasn't one person that was in my mentions arguing, being like, well, it's George Springer. Of course you're going to get, everyone on the internet said, why did you keep him in the ballgame?
Yeah, I think everyone knew what exactly happened. George Springer said, yeah, I'm good to go. And after he couldn't, the trainer's not going to tell him he can't do his job.
The trainer is not going to tell a former World Series MVP and a guy who's been in the league for God knows how many years, hey, man, we're going to take your ass out of this game with runners on second and third, especially when adrenaline's pumping. But he wasn't even in the same stratosphere as those elevated 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. No. Not even in the same stratosphere, and they knew what they were doing. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Great win. Kind of just masks how pathetic the execution was that entire game. I am very frustrated with this team turning into singles merchants. I will say that. But I did tweet today, fuck it, let's break the singles record.
Would be awesome.
Let's break the singles record. This team is currently second. I believe second last in home runs in baseball. They have 8. But top five where it matters, singles. And singles is not in baseball.
First place, dude.
First place. Yeah, first place. We're riding it with it. But yeah, I guess we can go into the Braves series. We will be at the game Tuesday with Alto and Curtis. Haven't seen those guys in a while, so it's going to be good to go to that one. Tomorrow we got Demon on the mound.
Yep.
Demon. Easton Lucas. Jays are light favorites on FanDuel Canada, -115 against Grant Holmes. Is that his name?
Yep.
Grant Holmes. Tuesday, Schwellenbach, who is a very good pitcher.
Oh,
0.45 ERA this year against the Gas Man. So that's a little pitcher's duel on Blue Jays way. And then Wednesday we have it says Bryce Elder, but it is not. It is Spencer Strider at 107. That's a little early. I swear,
getting Schwellenbach and Strider back to back is awful.
It's bullshit.
It's a playoff series type thing.
Yeah, it's like game 1, game 2 starters for the playoffs.
Yes.
But yeah, In Blue Jays fashion, they will win the Strider game and lose the Grant Holmes game.
His fastball is down a couple ticks.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll make a difference.
But
what is
again,
it, 98 now?
No, he was like 97, but 97 compared to 100 is like you can deal with that a little bit better.
I'm gonna do my called shot like you did your called shot. Vladdy launches this week.
Has to.
Vladdy launches this week. Big press conference tomorrow. That press conference would have sucked if they lost that game today with the errors he made this weekend. So excited for that. Excited for the series. Again, it's a baseball team that's been in the playoffs the last 4 years. It's a good baseball team, no matter what the records show. It's a team that doesn't have Acuna, but they got Demon Spencer Strider back. I'm going to say Jays. Should I reverse jinx this? Jays lose 2 of 3.
I was going to say the same thing. Reverse jinx it. 2 of 3.
Jays lose 2 of 3. But anyways, man, live stream tomorrow, Monday. And then we're going to be at the game Tuesday, then Don't From Home Wednesday. So the podcast will be dropping Wednesday night. Thank you guys, man, for the endless amount of support. It's been crazy. This was probably the craziest week in the history of Gate 14 podcast. I'm comfortable saying that. So wouldn't be possible without you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Enjoy the week of Blue Jays ball. Enjoy our first place ball club. Gate 14 forever. Let's have ourselves a week. We will see you guys tomorrow.